everybody, this is Matthew Movies coming at you with my review of Westworld, the 1973 sci-fi classic that I think is definitely worth a watch, especially if you're a fan of the TV show that I think you should be a fan of, because I think it's a great show, very moody, but very compelling and interesting and thought-provoking, and I think that really applies to this film. You can really tell that that show is very much inspired by the movie that it took its name from and its basic concept from. I mean, obviously they fleshed it out a lot more. It's 10 episodes versus 2-hour movie, but the germ of the idea is very much present in the movie. So if you ask me, if you're a fan of the show, go back and check out the flick, because I think it's worth your time. Now, for those of you who don't know what this story is about, essentially it's based in a future where there is a theme park where you can go there and live out your fantasy. And the reason why you can do that is there's all these automatons there, so you can basically, you know, go and kill people or rob a bank or do whatever, like basically almost anything. And the reason why the movie is called Westworld is because the principal area of the park is based on a western, and you can go there and you're gonna have the cowboy hats and the horses and all that and just live your life. Now, this movie was written and directed by Michael Crichton, a very talented dude who a lot of people know because he was responsible for the books that the Jurassic Park series is based on, but he's also written a slew of other books and been involved in a lot of other movies, and this is, to me, one of his best pieces of art. And I think it is just such a well thought out idea. First off, the concept I think is awesome and very intriguing, but I also feel like the writing was fantastic. And one of the major reasons why I feel that way is this movie has two main characters. There's these two guys who you see go to the park together, and one is very much into the idea that right from the start he's going to the nines, you know, he's embracing the whole concept, and the other guy is a lot more reserved, doesn't know if he can kind of go through with what they're supposed to be doing, because, you know, there's ideas behind it, like you can go and there's a saloon with, you know, a madam and women of the night and all that kind of stuff, and he doesn't know if he can really give himself over to it yet. And I think that was a major point of brilliance when they wrote this movie, because I think it gives everybody who watches this movie a window into it, a way to relate to what's happening in front of them. Because if you feel like you would embrace that kind of park, then you got a character for that. And if you feel like you wouldn't be able to get into it at first, and who knows where you go from there, you got a character from that. And I think it's very interesting as well to see where the two types of people go as the story progresses. I also think one of the major points of brilliance in this movie was the fact that they made it so that there was several areas of the park. So you have the Westworld, but you also have like a medieval area and a Roman area, and I just thought that was a great idea. There's this scene where there's a automaton medieval knight, and see what ends up happening with him I thought was a whole lot of fun and very interesting. But to me, the biggest strength of this movie is you have a character that they just called the Gunslinger, who's played by Yul Brynner, an actor who I don't really know that much about. I have seen him in a few films, but man, did I love him in this movie, and I think he's by far the best character. He's this kind of soulless cowboy that goes around, and, you know, he's basically the leader of this gang, and then throughout the film things go where they go, and you're very fearsome, and throughout the entire movie you're like, oh, okay, I wouldn't want to mess with that guy on a, you know, if I was walking down a city street or whatever. And to see what ends up happening with him, and like just the way that he was able to play the character. I mean, the fact that he has just no emotion on his face and just comes across like this soulless killing machine, similar to like the Terminator, I would say. But as a guy, it's like, because I always thought when it was Arnold, you know, there was a little bit there. I mean, throughout the first movie he doesn't show much emotion, but there was a little bit more of a humanity to him, or felt like that way at times. Whereas in this, I felt like Yul Brynner just absolutely kills it. Just shows no emotion at all. And just, I think a major reason why the Terminator feels like he has a little bit more humanity to me, and don't get me wrong, just saying a little bit, he does a pretty good job in it for sure, but I think one of the major reasons why is, in this case, you can see those glowing eyes throughout the vast majority of the scenes with Yul Brynner, and I just absolutely love it. I think this movie is just a great watch, and one that more people definitely need to see. So those are my thoughts on it. Let me know in the comment section below what you think, if you're a fan of the show, if you even knew that there was a movie, if you knew that Michael Crichton was involved, whatever. Other than that, please hit that like button, hit that share button. It does awesome things for me because it gets my videos in front of other people, and they can come and check it out and hopefully stick around to my channel. And speaking of which, if you're new here, you just haven't done it yet, please hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. It'll let you know when I put out a new video, and you can come and let me know what you think. Other than that, have yourself a good day.